It's a new White Sox report presented by just another year Chicago White Sox. Today is Saturday, March 21st, and we are just a couple of days away from opening day here for the Chicago White Sox. We'll be playing up in Milwaukee, and I could not be more excited. The report today is Justin Ishbia. His firm bought land in the South Loop earlier this week. Mike Vasil needs Tommy John surgery and will miss the entire 2026 season. And the White Sox have set their starting rotation. And it's interesting. There's a lot of guys on there who this is a very important season for their MLB careers. They must start well. But first, if you're ready for White Sox baseball, hit that like button and comment Go Sox down below if you're excited for opening day. It's really important for us and would mean a lot. Justin Ishbia's firm bought some land in the South Loop today across the river from the 78 in the old Amtrak rail yard. Now, this is not necessarily a sign that the White Sox are going to build a ballpark there, as Ishbia will not take over until at least 2029 and potentially not until 2034 when it becomes his choice and not our friend Jerry Reinsdorf's choice to sell the team to him. So the firm Shore Capital said that there are talks about it being a medical facility as well. It's a little bit smaller than the 78, so it's not a certainty that this will become a ballpark. But Crane Chicago Business was the one who reported this in the first place. And in their reporting, they said that Ishbia is looking at potentially making this the new home of the Chicago White Sox. Now, as I mentioned, Ishbia could take over as soon as 2029, and then it's Reinsdorf's decision on that until 2034. This could be huge for the White Sox, though. This is a spot in the city that is closer to downtown. It's more accessible by more forms of public transportation, though those of us in the southwest suburbs, like myself, it does stink that we can't take we wouldn't be able to just take the Metro right in front of the ballpark necessarily. Now, they could build more stations, but it's more accessible to more parts of the city and other suburbs as well, which should help with attendance and some tourism. If they do build a stadium there as well, another huge thing is that the Fire are building a stadium near the 78. So they could partner with them and really create an entertainment district for the stadiums, similar to what we've seen in other cities. Kansas City has a great little shared parking lot that's great for tailgating with the Royals and the Chiefs. Now that's going to change as the Chiefs are going to move over the next couple of years. But Detroit has has stadiums near each other, and it's cool to have the little ballpark village in other parts that other teams have done. Obviously, that's the best part of Wrigley up on the north side is the village, not the stadium. Another place that I was very impressed by was Cincinnati. I went to see the White Sox play there a couple of seasons ago, and they have a really great village surrounding the stadium where there's a lot of fun bars and restaurants, and it's very walkable, some outdoor park area. If they could do that, that could really go a long way towards building up the attendance to where they can get more casual fans there, and that would be good for the White Sox payroll in the future. Whether they build this or not, there's another thought of partnering with Northwestern. I think probably depends on what Ishbia is hearing from Reinsdorf in regards to when he's going to take over, or at least that'll have partly something to do with it. Because if he's not going to take over till 2034, he may not want to shell out hundreds of millions, upwards of $1 billion to build a new baseball stadium when he isn't going to be in any control yet. Please share and subscribe to the page. Our first goal is to get to 100 subscribers. We're just about under halfway there. We have 49, and it would really be huge as we look to increase the follower or subscriber count here for the White Sox. Show our other teams in Chicago that White Sox fans care just as much as Bulls, Blackhawks, Bears, and those pesky Cub fans. Mike Vasil is going to miss the entire 2026 season. he was a huge piece of the pitching staff last season, and it's going to hurt a lot to have him not there. He suffered injury that will require Tommy John surgery here over the next couple weeks. The team announced last week. It happened against the Dodgers last Saturday, and he was pitching pretty well in spring and really looking to build on last season. In 47 games, he posted a 2.9 WAR, a 2.50 ERA in 101 innings pitched with 82 strikeouts to 52 walks in a bit of a hybrid role. Vasil started a couple games. He had 4 saves, and he really was a very important member of the bullpen, and they were counting on him. He was supposed to be a big part of the pitching staff this year. He's a Swiss Army knife that can do a lot. The biggest thing he needed to work on was his control. As you could see that on the previous screen, he did walk a lot of guys. He had over a 4 walk per 9, which is an unsustainable way to be a pitcher, but he was great at pitching out of stuff. He was an electric factory to watch last season because there was always something going on. He was such a good fireman and putting out the base runners, and we're really going to miss watching him this season. He's a guy that diehard fans know is important, and other people were like, "Who's that guy?" People who are more casual, who have checked out over the last couple of years, and I was really looking forward to seeing what he could do in his second season with the team. An underrated thing that I saw, Chuck Garfien reported that he was such an important member of the locker room that the team has asked the organization, the players on the team has asked the organization to have Vasil travel with them this season while he does his rehab. So I'm sure he won't be with the team at all times, but it sounds like he's going to spend a lot of time with the team because he's such an important member of the pitching staff and just important in the locker room. He's a guy that people seem to really gravitate towards, and he'll be missed a lot. What this does is set up an opportunity for the White Sox to have another Rule 5 draft pick make the team and have a role potentially if he pitches well and earns it all season. Jedrickson Paez is a guy who they view as a long-term starter, but he has not pitched really very much in the high minors even. So it's different from Vasil and Shane Smith, where they had pitched in AAA before the White Sox picked him up. Shane Smith in the Rule 5 draft, and the White Sox off waivers after Vasil was selected in the Rule 5 draft last season. So what I really think is important here is that Paez is much more raw than either of those guys were, but he has huge upside, and he's a guy who they feel like could be a long-term member of the rotation. This, if we're looking on the bright side, does give him a better opportunity to be part of the pitching staff this season. We'll see what they decide to do. Rosters are close to being finalized and will be done, obviously, this week before opening day hits. And I'm hoping to see Jedrickson Paez get an opportunity to start the season with the organization. Lastly, manager Will Venable has set the starting rotation to start the 2026 season. Shane Smith gets the non-opening day, followed by Sean Burke, Anthony Kay, Davis Martin, and Eric Fetty. I feel very certain that will not be the rotation all season, as there are a lot of pitching prospects in the minor leagues, which we've discussed some potential guys that could be coming up on this channel earlier a couple weeks ago. There's the big 3 we all know about, and then there's some other options as well. I think the biggest thing for those 5 guys, maybe not so much Shane Smith, as he was outstanding last season and will be given a lot of opportunities to prove that wasn't a fluke, is it's an extremely important season for this group's MLB careers. You look at Sean Burke, and he showed some growth and some flashes last season, but wasn't super productive, and we need to see more out of him and see him taking the next step in order to make sure that he is and can be a part of a rotation for a winning team and not just an innings eater on a team that's rebuilding. Anthony Kay coming back from Asia, and I really hope he pitches well. I think the White Sox have had success with guys like him in the past, people that work on stuff and come back. And it's been a mixed bag overall for pitchers who have come back from Korea and Japan. And I'm hoping that Anthony Kay can be a success story. But it's very important for him. He's on a short-term deal. His career is not set to be fully back in the majors, and he needs to show something this season in order to really solidify that he is a major league pitcher for the rest of his career. Davis Martin's been a guy who's been up and down. He had Tommy John surgery a couple of years ago, and this is another important season for him. He's shown some flashes, like I said, but another guy who we need to see step up. These guys could be overrun by prospects, particularly Burke and Martin, and then Eric Fetty could be overrun by prospects if they do not look strong to start the season, because there are a lot of them in the high minors for the White Sox that they have a lot of hope for over the next couple seasons, and guys that are knocking on the door. In particular, Hagen Smith, Tanner McDougal, and Noah Schultz, 3 guys who are either top 100 prospects in the case of Schultz and Smith, or McDougal is right on the edge of that. And those are guys the White Sox really expect to be important members of the rotation going forward. So if these 5 guys want to stay in the major leagues, not just this season, but generally, they're going to have to start off the season well. So it's going to be a very interesting April and May here in Chicago to see what these guys can handle and what they're capable of, because their careers really do depend on it. Thank you for watching, and as always, go White Sox.